Good day, fam. This is Tan. I'm doing a quick product unboxing, installation, and review today. I'm excited about this product. I just got this in the mail a couple days ago, and it is for the dash cam FitcamX that is going to give that stealth look to the Toyota Highlander. So this came out, to my knowledge, about maybe 8-9 months ago, and I liked all the features that it touted. However, I didn't want to buy it right away because with any new product, I want to wait for some reviews and get some other customer testimonials to see if they've had any good or bad experiences with it before I made the decision. Basically what this is, it's a dash cam that basically once it's installed, it looks like it's an OEM product right up there, installed right into the next to the behind the rear view mirror. And you can get this in 3 different versions. The version I got is the 4K camera resolution. They do have a 2.5K version at 1944p. This one is at 2160p. They also have a front and rear camera version as well. However, the camera resolution on the front end, you can't do anything about it. If you do get the front and rear version, the front is only 1440p, and then the rear will be 1080p. I decided to get the 4K one because I wanted to make sure that if I ever got into a car accident, that I can try to capture video footage, or try to get the best opportunity to capture license plates, things like that. And so this was something that intrigued me. Some of the things I liked about it is the fact that it has loop recording. So once your memory card gets full, it'll just automatically rewrite and record over the old footage. It does have Wi-Fi connection, so that way you can view and download the videos right off of your phone. There's an app for it. It has a G sensor, so if the car gets shook or it's in a bad accident, it's going to capture that footage, so that way it can't be rewritten over. And it has HDR, high dynamic range. Anyone that are photography buffs, you understand that this is important for a dash cam, especially if you're driving into the sunset, the light between the darks and the lights. You want to make sure that the camera sensor can be able to pick up on all that, so that way it doesn't drown out the image altogether. So some of the things that I'll share with you, I'm going to do a quick unboxing here. Let's go ahead and open this up. See what we get. When I first was looking into this, I saw some of the reviews. Because this requires an app, when this company released this, they didn't have their own dedicated app yet, and that was a big con for me. That was one of the reasons I held off from purchasing this for the last 8-9 months. But in the last month or so, I found out that the company has developed their own app. So whether you've purchased this before or not, download the FitcamX dedicated app. I heard it's awesome. I'll also do a quick tutorial for that at the end of this video as well. So here's what you get right out the box. You get the actual dash cam itself. You can tell right here, this is where it's powered up. This is the dash cam, the camera right here. You have to make sure to remove this film off of it, but check that out. It's that dash, it's that OEM look. It does come with a supplied micro SD card, which, let's take a look here. It's like a 64 gig card that's supplied. Looks like a knockoff one. So you can either download old school way by just taking this out and sticking it into like a card reader and get it that way, or just use the app, and then you can download and view it straight off of the app onto a computer. This is pretty cool looking. This has a few buttons on the back here. You have the power button and then a camera button here. This is where if you want to take a picture of an image in front of your car, let's say for example there's a license plate of a car in front of you, you just hit that button and then it'll take a snapshot. You have some LED lights here. I believe we'll look at the instruction manual, but I believe one of this will be a constant blinking blue that shows that it's recording, and we'll figure out what these others are for. So we got this here. That's cool. What else we got in the box here? This is the other feature that I really liked about this product. You get a pry tool right there. Like you get a USB card or USB reader for you to stick the micro SD card in here if you wanted to. And then this right here is a game changer, y'all. So up at the top where we have our, there's a camera up there right behind on the windshield, right? Basically, it's plug and play. You don't have to rewire anything. You'll unplug the wiring harness out of the existing slot. I'll show you later. And basically, this is a piggyback. You plug this in, and then you plug in the original OEM in here. So that way, you're using the power off of the Highlander. This is cool because you don't have to worry about hiding wires at the top of the roof, and then having to, you know, run it all the way down to the fuse box or running it down to like a cigarette lighter. I will say I've been contacting the seller back and forth. If you don't want this, and let's say you want the camera to be in parking mode, they do have that feature as well. And so before you order, you have to let the seller know that you want the fuse box connection, so that way it comes with the fuse clips and the longer wires if you want to do the old school way, and then have it powered on 24/7 where it can actually record when the car is parked and you're not around. To me, I can do without that feature, to each their own, and this works perfectly for me. See what else we got here. We have this piece right here. This here, I noticed that other Highlander owners who installed this before, if you have a platinum trim like I do, one of the feedback I got is this piece not fitting. This piece right here, when you clip it in, it doesn't fit, so you have to do a lot of trimming. If you don't have that huge bulky digital rear view mirror like I do on the Platinum, that's where there's clearance issues. And so when they got that feedback from the customers, they actually developed a new cover. This cover, let me show you here. This cover, if you're viewing this from the back end like this is going to slot in right here and clip in right here, right? And basically the clearance right here, I don't know if you can tell, the clearance right here, you would actually have to do some filing to file this piece down to get it to fit because of that digital rearview mirror. If you don't have the digital rearview mirror, this fit like a glove. And so the fact that the most recent models, you actually have this portion right here that if you do have a Platinum, well, guess what? All you gotta do is clip this part off, and then it'll create the extra room that's needed, so that way you don't have any clearance issues. So thanks to the manufacturer for listening to customer feedback. I'm stoked to see if this can fit without me removing this, but I have a feeling that I probably will have to remove this piece right here. You got the user manual right here. Oh, one thing I should mention, I had an old SanDisk micro SD card laying around. Highly recommend to get something that is high endurance. This is like 3-4 years ago I bought this, and these are like probably like 15-20 bucks now. Get one that's high endurance. The maximum for the FitcamX is 128 gigabytes. This one is 64. This can record up to 5,000 hours in continuous video recording for 4K. Is exactly perfect for your needs. So I don't trust the SD card that they supplied with this this camera, so I'm going to put this in here. This is important to note because by getting this, it's going to give you, peace of mind when you're recording 4K video, especially when it has that looping feature where it's going to pretty much re-record over the old data. You want to make sure that it's not going to corrupt any files. I've had that happen in previous dash cams where I did get into some fender benders, and because I tried to retrieve the video, I wasn't able to because the card itself was too hot. With this, it's built for extreme cold temperatures, and it's also built for extreme heat temperatures as well. You don't have to, but like I said, if you're going to invest $150, I got this for the dash cam itself for $158. So you're going to invest in that, might as well, pay an extra 15-20 bucks and make sure that the videos that you're capturing are not going to get corrupt, and that is going to last you for a long time. This is also shockproof and waterproof, and it's X-ray proof if you're curious. So get one, but don't get it over 128, because anything above 128 is not going to be compatible with the FitcamX dash cam. All right, let's head off to the car and install this bad boy. All right, so we're here in the Toyota Highlander. It is a rainy ass day here in Seattle, and this is my current setup. This is an all-key dash cam that I've been using for about 3 or 4 years. It's done me good. This camera is 1080p. However, this only costs 50 bucks, and so the issue this camera had was video resolution, especially with HDR. It didn't have it, and so driving directly into the sun, it would blow out the entire video image. And so I wanted to switch this out and get something that would remove this area, this camera out from view, so that way it doesn't obstruct my view of the windshield. So that's what it looks like now. Once we put this on, I'm going to take this off first, and then basically we're going to take this off, plug and play, and hook it up. This right here is the digital review mirror that is actually thicker than the other trim models on the Toyota Highlander. And this is going to be the access area that gave people clearance that had platinums right here. So what we're going to first do is angle this down. And we're going to remove this right here. From what I can tell, just looking at the FitCam version, it slides in, right? It slides in. So basically we'll have to pop it out like this and then slide up. So that's how I'm going to angle it. So to get to these clips right here, I'm assuming they're going to look very similar to the OEM versions right here. All right, just angle the review down as far as you can. And I'm actually going to try to slide this down first. There we go. Side popped out. If you can get this slide off like this, you can use your fingers to get into the back of the clip right here and try to get that pressed on to remove it easier. But it is a tight fit, y'all. There we go. Bam, got it out. If you're curious to see what it looks like, here's the OEM, here's the FitCam. Then slide this bad boy down. Now on this one, you'll have to remove the OEM clips right here, 1 and 2, and put that onto the FitCam mount right over here. All right, so when prying out these OEM clips, if you have long fingernails, it helps, but if you have a little flathead, it's even better. And so I'm just going to stick it in from the top. I don't know if you can tell. Bend this part up. Don't do it too hard because it's plastic and it'll break. And then I'll use my fingernail and then press on the bottom and push it out. If I do this right, it should pop out with no issues. There we go. Looks like that. And then you just take this, stick it into the FitCam. Clip. There we go. Stick the second clip in. Peel this off, the protective film. If you don't do that, don't complain that you got blurry video, okay? All right, so next step here is to unplug the wiring harness right at the windshield right here. So just use your finger, push the clip in and pull out. See that? Once you get that out, take the wiring harness. Then you'll take the FitCam end and plug it in. Click in. Then you take the wire harness from the car and you just plug it back in to here. Click. You're halfway home, baby. Here's the power cord. Go ahead and take the power supply. This can only fit in one way. There's a notch right at the top right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a notch on here as well. So it will only let you plug it in one way. That's in. And then hold this flush. So you tuck it in here. Tuck these wires in, the major wires. Once you get everything tucked, you'll push it flush against the windshield. Gotta be a trick to the tucking part. Who's good at tucking? All right, so after 20 minutes, I'm still struggling to figure out how to tuck all these wires in. Again, with the digital rearview mirror, I don't know how much thicker this is compared to the non-digital versions, but there's a lot of kibble here, if you know what I mean. And trying to find a way to tuck these wires in a way that it will still fit inside of this casing, it's proven kind of tricky. So I'm still trying to figure it out, but I wanted to document some video to kind of give you an idea. This is what the platinum trim looks like. Let me know if you have this much wiring up here for you know, any lower trims like limited or XLE or LE. But this is what I'm seeing on my side right here. Maybe I can try to find some room on this side. All right, so before I install the cover back on, I wanted to show you how I wrapped the wires into this confined space to allow the piggyback wiring harness to fit. So on this side right here, you'll notice that this is where the piggyback plugged into, and then right down here is where I fit the connector. That's where I also ran these wires. So this is part of the harness here. I ran this behind, if you can see here, I ran it behind. This is the OEM cable right here. Before I had it running over, but this time I ran it under, so that way it can fit in there nicely. And then here's a clear shot right from the bottom. That's what it looks like from the bottom. Ran this wire, the remaining harness right here, and this time I tucked it underneath this OEM wire. I'm sorry, this is OEM right here. This is the harness right here. I ran it underneath instead of over top. If you do over top, it's not going to work. You got to do under here, and then that's going to allow you to run it all the way into the back right here. And if you see that blue power cable, that's where it sticks out now. So if I go back up here on the top, you can see it there. This is the power cable to the dash cam, and then this wire pretty much connects to the dash cam, and then stick this on, and then after you stick it on, you can go ahead and tuck this wire at the top and then put that cover back on. So that's how I'm doing it for the platinum trim. Again, if you have any lower trim models that doesn't have the additional sensors in the front windshield, especially for the digital rearview mirror, then you might end up having a lot more room. This is what mine looks like. I thought that because there's a lot of room right here that I can make it fit, but that's not the case, because when you look at the actual casing, these things right here take up the space, and so there's not much room. You got to make it fit somehow, and that's how I'm doing it. All right, let's go ahead and put this case on. There it is. All right, that's what it looks like with the FitcamX installed. Nice clean OEM factory look. And it's gonna leave these wires up here at the top. All I gotta do is tuck this in. So this is what it looks like once you tuck all that wiring behind the case. For mine, it has a little portion that's kind of bulging out right down here. which is fine because it's going to be behind the review mirror, so no one's going to see it. And so when you're applying this on, again, if it fits without having to remove this part right here, cool. If not, snap it off and then it'll fit perfectly. So let's go ahead and see if I can do this with one hand. All right. So you can tell right there, it's getting in the way of my harness. So looks like we're gonna have to remove this here. All right. So again, kudos to the people at FitcamX for creating this piece after listening to user feedback, because I know the first iterations did not have this cutout part, and so people had to file it down. So this came with this. If you don't have a platinum trim, most likely you can leave this in because you don't have the extra wires. So just get a snipper like this, and let's go ahead and cut this. Ta-da! Bye-bye. I will go ahead and trim this down. So once you remove it, you get this little jagged pieces there. Y'all know me, I like it nice and clean, so I'm gonna trim these little pieces off. Bam! Pretty. All right, everything looks good. Again, slide it in, pop it back. These two clips right here should lock it in place. How is that for a nice, clean install, y'all? And then just bend my mirror back up to its original face or position, and then we'll be good to go. Ta-da! After 2 hours. Dang it. Hopefully you can learn from my pain and you'll be able to do this fast. Hooking it up was easy. Taking this off was easy. Actually, let me kind of give you an idea for those that might be hesitant on how to remove the OEM case. So this is the OEM case, right? My advice is slide this down. When this is on the windshield, slide it down first. That way you can actually twist it around like this. And then when you look at the back, the only thing that's holding it in are these two clips. So once you got it free and just kind of free hanging, these are the clips that you would push in right here. When you push this side in, it pops out. Kind of hard to do with one hand, but it'll be like that. And then you'll repeat the same process on the other side. You push into it to remove that side. And there you go. And then all you do is pull it out and then up. That's my trick for y'all. All right, so now that the dash cam is properly installed, we can go ahead and download the software. So I already had downloaded in advance. Again, when this first came out about 8-9 months ago, you had to use third-party apps. They didn't have their own dedicated one yet. So in the last month or so, they did finally come out with their own dedicated FitcamX app, which is pretty user-friendly. So if you bought this months ago, download this app because it's way better, and I'll show you why. Hold on. First thing you need to do is I went ahead and switched out the extreme SanDisk SD card already, and so that's already in there. So what we got to do is sync this up and format the SD card, which I've already done, but I wanted to show you here. So you got to have the card turned on. Once it's on, you'll connect the dash cam to your app. And for mine, it shows up with some LDS thing. There we are. I'm sorry, LHD, my bad, right there. And the initial password is 1234567 Now that it's connected, and then go into the app itself. There we go. So it's successfully connected. And if you wanted to access the camera now, it's actually showing you what is being recorded, which is the front of my house. So I can take my hand, I'll put it in front of the dash cam to show that it's showing me and recording in real time. So here's my hand. See that? I'm taking my hand, putting it right in front of it right there. From here, you can take snapshots. You can mute the audio or not. So if you got some conversations that you don't want to be included in the recording, then you can actually hit the mute unmute button, so that way it doesn't record that. It's actually recording as we speak. And you look up here, you should be able to see that blue blinking light. That means it's currently recording. Then I'll have all of my camera files. I took a night drive yesterday to record some nighttime video that I'll share with you in a second here. But this is where you can download these videos straight to your phone, and it's all done through the Wi-Fi connection. Or you can do it old school style and just take out the SD card and then plug it into this thing that it came with here. So you can just plug it into your laptop if you want to. All right, so when it comes to settings, I want to show you something here. It has parking monitor mode on top. This will only work if you ask the seller for the fuse kit that has the wire taps, so that way you can actually wire it to a fuse box to have a constant 12-volt power. I didn't want to go with that option. I'm totally fine with the ease of installation with this wiring harness, so I didn't opt to go that route. Settings, some settings that you want to set right off the bat: sound recording on and off, resolution, I picked 12 megabytes or whatever that is. Resolution, set that to the highest. Why get 4K if you're not going to have it on the highest, right? And here is where you can have the loop option. On the third-party apps, from what I hear, you couldn't adjust this, but with the dedicated FitcamX app, you can choose the intervals. By default, it's on 1 minute. I like it around 3 or 5 before it cuts off, to the next recorded video. And so, you know what? I might just make this 5. Yeah, I like it at 5. This is a cool thing. The exposure compensation. If you notice through the live view that the exposure is blown out, you can adjust this accordingly. Always leave this on. WDR. You want to get that dynamic range for the view. Watermark. I think in the lower left side there's a watermark that can show up. You can turn that on and off. Collision sensing. I put this on low. That's the G-Shock. So if you get in a car accident, you don't want any false alarms. You just want the big impacts. And If you want to change the password instead of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, you can change that up here. And also check for the current firmware to make sure that the app is up to date. And here, you must do this as the first step before you record. You have to reformat the SD card. Just because you put one in there, even though it might show that it's blue blinking recording, if you don't reformat it, nothing is going to be saved initially to the app. So make sure you do this as the first step, and then you should be good to go. So that's basically it, y'all. Live view recording right there. If I wanted to play some of the camera files, let's say for example, watch some of these videos I recorded yesterday. This is the nighttime video. I'll go ahead and transfer this so that way you can see it more clearly. But I am very happy with the clarity. I turned the sound on just to give you an idea, but I am loving what I see. If you look on the bottom, you might see that timestamp there. You can adjust that, but that is what you get from this product. And for those that have a dash cam, you know, something that I do just in case you can't get a visible shot of the license plate. Let's say somebody cuts you off or somebody's in a little bit of road rage. Just know that because it's recording and you have the audio on, what I usually do is I just read the license plate out loud as I still have it fresh in my head, and that way it'll capture the license plate number in the audio format when I review it. Because, you know, sometimes, let's say you're driving. Maybe show you a front view. Maybe the rain's blocking it. Yeah, but it's there. Like it's a part of the car. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Next week I will be installing the WeatherTech window deflectors for the front and rear for the Toyota Highlander. So look forward to putting those bad boys on. Thanks again, and peace.